Hey y'all, I know it's been a while since I put a video out, but a lot of stuff going on. Life's hard. I don't have as much time for videos. I find time to practice, but I just don't have as much time for videos. Now, enough of that. Today we're going to talk about the blues. My favorite genre, right? We all start there. We all spend some time there. Not all of us stay there, but it's important in the arc of our learning that we know and understand the blues. Helps us understand so much more music as a result. The specific part of the blues that I want to talk about today and demonstrate it's called the turnaround. Essentially the last two bars of the 12-bar progression. We all know the 12-bar progression, 1, 4, 5. That's the most common form of the blues, and it really is the most common. It's the one you'll find the most in every key imaginable. I'm going to be focusing on E today because there are some things that you can do with those open strings that really work well. I'm going to be talking about double stops. I'm going to talk about hybrid picking, and just different ways that you can use the blues turnaround to make your own individual pieces a little bit more interesting. Okay? And we all know, and I'll use the song Bring It On Home by Led Zeppelin as sort of the basis for the progression because it is the standard 12-bar blues progression, right? Basic standard 12-bar blues. And the turnaround at the end is the B7, right? 1, 4, 5. We're going to the dominant 5 dominant 7, right? You don't have to. We're going to talk about some different progressions that don't use the traditional chord forms. But the turnaround is crucial to getting back to the top of that blues. Okay, it's crucial. There are lots of different ways of doing it, okay? And you have to separate the major sounding blues progressions from the minor sounding, okay? I can do one in E major, dominant 7, right? E7, and I can do one in B minor that will use some of the same chords, but you can stray a lot further with a minor blues. You can go a lot further. You can borrow chords from different keys. And that's really, really cool, okay? That was the basic major 12-bar turnaround, 12-bar blues with the turnaround at the end. Now, the turnaround, it really, truly is the most crucial element of your blues progression, the most crucial element. One of the first ones that I learned, and it was so simple and just kind of silly, I never really looked at it well enough to know how I could expand on it to get different things. And it's this, right, in E, right? We're going to go. Okay? It's very, very simple. And then it expanded. I learned to expand that to this, right? And I'm using just the pick. I'm not using my fingers on this particular one. I will on the next one. But this is the basic form, right? Okay. Then I learned that's where we're rising up from the A to the B to end. Right? From the 4 to the 5. And then what I learned after that was that's using the ninth, right? We're going from a C9 to a B9, and that's one of those borrowed chords from the E major scale. Okay, so it's really nice, sort of understated but very kind of sophisticated turnaround, right? I'm a big fan of ninths, a huge fan of ninths. They just work so well, right? And the typical, and then you can do the same notes, but different tone. It's further up on the neck, so we're accessing a different tonal area of the string. I use this one most often because I'm close to it at the end of that at the end of that turnaround. But a lot of times, if I'm up here and I'm chording up here with the and this is just my version of my A7. I'll play it as a D at the 5th fret, right? That's B7. Same thing. It depends where I am on the neck as to which one I use. Now, the next one is it's the same sort of thing. It's a walk down leading into that B7, right? But I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm going to bring it up here, and I'm going to play double stops with hybrid picking, which means I'm going to pick one note, and then I'm going to pluck the other with a finger. We're not using the one. Okay? And then you could do this. Or there's another neat one that I picked up sort of accidentally. I'd read a column on country finger picking, really fast stuff. You know what I mean? And there was this one exercise in there, and it was to show you how you can use the simple blues progression with some of those really fast country style songs, right? I'm going to put my pick down and just use my fingers for this, okay? And it was this. Those are all double stops. That entire thing was played with double stops with my finger. Now, what I learned at the end of this one is to go to the A to the B. A, or I'm sorry. Again, we're implying that seventh. It's not really a seventh, but it feels like a seventh, right? And I'm just outlining the B, and then with both fingers in the same fret, strings 1 and 3, we go up to the B. Those two notes belong to that B. So if you've got, and you can use these broken forms really well. It works better if you've got a rhythm section or a second guitarist or a keyboard player who's going to hold those, the majority of the chord. Okay, so you can play those broken forms and they work really well. They add a little character, right? There are when you're soloing too, you have to bear in mind the turnaround is coming. So what you want to make sure that you do is, if you want to, you know, voice the same way that the rhythm is voicing, okay, you simply play that, you know, in sort of a different way. Okay, same thing, same basic principle. The one that I tend to use most often, and I wear it out because I just like it, is okay. I don't know if you can see that really well. Let me try that again. Okay, easy. It's really easy, but it does add quite a bit of style, sort of. And so, you know, break it up a little bit. Use this. Okay. Now, minor blues is a little slightly different, and I'm going to use "Thrill Is Gone" by B.B. King as a fine example, and then I'm gonna show you the turnaround for "Bridge of Sighs" by Robin Trower. Totally different turnarounds, but just make the music sound so cool, right? "Thrill Is Gone" is a B minor blues. Turnaround, we're going to go to a G major 7 all the way up at the 10th fret. Kind of a, you know, a little harder chord to get right. 7. F sharp dominant 7th. And then we're going to go 4, 3, 2, 3. Okay. Works next. Instead of E minor, I went from B minor to E minor, right? What also works is that 9th chord. And again, it comes off so cool when you do it, right? There's bringing it right back. The 9th works with that G major 7. That's why I like doing that. I love playing that song. I love soloing to that song because it affords you, when you go to that G major 7, right, on the turnaround, your solo explodes. If you'll lean on that G triad, it'll just go nuts. You'll love it, okay? The other turnaround that I wanted to talk about for minor blues is from "Bridge of Sighs" by Robin Trower. Robin Trower, again, uses that 7th, but a little differently, okay? It's so smooth, it just rolls so nicely when he does it. So, and he's going from a C major 7 to a B7, which is kind of, it feels like an ugly transition, but it just sounds beautiful. And this is the very first part. Here's our C major 7. We're going to go. B7. Okay. same thing, major 7, but down here with those open strings, the voicing's really, really different. Now, you could play the G7 here, major 7 here. I've always preferred my G major 7 up here. It just sounds better. Let me get a drink real quick. It sounds better. It's got a more pleasing tone to my ear. So, let me try that one more time and I'll show you what I mean. That G major 7 up here at the 10th fret. I like the interplay between that chord shape and this. That's not bad. It's the same thing, essentially. But we're putting different notes against one another, and although the chord is the same, it reacts differently. And that's the vibration of the guitar itself, right? I'm using my Super Strat, my 2004 Super Strat right now, 50th anniversary bad boy, and I've got my Stevie Ray Vaughan patch going on my ME80 down on the floor, one of my favorite patches, because when you pick lightly, it's very clean, and when you bear down, you get a little bit of grit. The turnarounds, that's the moment, both when you're soloing and for rhythm, that's the moment that sets up your next verse or a solo part. So, intersperse them differently. Use them differently, okay? Or use the different forms, right? There's this. Why do I keep turning that volume down? This. Or this. That sounds really good during a solo, actually. To ride yourself out of the solo and ride yourself back into a verse. That, for me, that's essential. Okay? And with double stops, either with your fingers or with hybrid picking, pick hand fingers, okay? Either one works. That actually was an exercise. It was country music, but essentially what it was it was a little bit of bluegrass style picking, right? Where you're rolling a melody the whole time. You're playing a rhythm part, but you're implying a melody the whole time. Okay, so and that was a very cool article, and it is a little difficult to get smooth right away. It's a little difficult because you're actually using that thumb to provide, counterpoint. You've got your melody on the top, and then you got your thumb that's outlining those bass notes 1 and 5, right? Same thing for the A, but 2 strings down. So that's a quickie today. Hopefully that's not too long. But I just wanted to talk about turnarounds. Turnarounds are so important. And it's not one of those things that you learn right away when you're learning the blues. You learn the basics, okay? But you don't, you learn the basic progression, that 12-bar progression, okay? And Everybody does it. Pretty cool, right? Pretty easy, really. It's really simple. So that's enough for today, y'all. Enjoy. Work on these. You'll find that, the blues is maybe just a bit more fun. And it's fun to put those in when you're soloing for the turnaround. It's a good way to signal the band, look, my solo's done, okay? I'm going to play, and that traditional turnaround tells the band, okay, it's you, you're next, okay? There are fun ways, just, they're just fun to do, period. So, all right? Peace.